Hi guys, Barbara here again with
Lindsay.
Today we're here with the Women's Takeover for the 3T Live YouTube channel. So Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am Gerard's younger sister. I've been watching wrestling ever since I could remember. I would say I will give you guys my favorite wrestlers. I will give you a man and a woman from past and current.
So how long have you been watching wrestling first?
Since I was like 5 years old.
Okay, so
probably like early 2000s.
So you're very well
aware
of what's
of the
going
business.
on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just so you know, she's very well aware of the business. She knows how the business works. She's been watching WWE for a while. So she's going to give you 2 old-timers and 2 newcomers?
Of the women and men.
Okay, so 1 of each.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so my favorite all-time old wrestler of a man is Undertaker.
Okay, why?
I love his character and the whole... Like, my favorite all-time Undertaker has to be when he was riding a motorcycle.
Okay.
I think that was amazing. My favorite woman from the past, definitely Trish Stratus. She was sexy, but she knew how to work a ring. Everything I love. For new ones, I would say Marty Scurll. He's not in the WWE, but I just love also his character. I met him. He was an amazing person, so nice. Also, my favorite women's, I would say Becky Lynch, Irish Pride. Come on now, guys. She's amazing. I love her in ring work. Sometimes she's okay on the mic, depends, but I just love how she is.
So, just because we're not, like, I know Gerard doesn't only cover WWE.
Yes.
He also covers, AEW and New Japan. So where is Marty Scurll wrestling right now?
Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in case you don't know,
you better watch Ring of Honor to see Marty Scurll.
So what's your favorite, I guess, feature of Marty Scurll, like, that he does in the ring or on mic?
Oh, I don't know. I love... The main match I actually really like of his was with, I believe it was Will Ospreay. I think it was a 6-man match. I just love that whole match in itself. It's not my favorite of all time, but it's
one of your favorites.
It's one of my favorites of his, personally. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you got, Lindsay has been watching wrestling for a while. Obviously, Gerard has too. So they're very well taught about wrestling. They obviously, not only watch WWE, so they know what's out there and they know what's good. You know what I mean? Let's talk about how important it was for the women to get their own pay-per-view. So let's talk about Evolution. How do you feel about that?
Fantastic. It was amazing.
I agree.
I think women are becoming like a main, like, I would guess, feature in the wrestling.
I agree.
Because back then they were all in underwear and panties, panties and bras, I should say. And it was like, why do you consider women that shallow?
Yeah.
Like, they are more than just boobs and asses,
I mean, I like I said in the other interview that I did with Gerard, I haven't been watching wrestling for that long. So Lindsay has been watching wrestling long enough to know that women were at one time wearing bras and panties. Yeah. And this is what women were portrayed as on TV. And so that's kind of a very one-sided or one-dimensional for men to look at women in that way and say, oh, look at this woman, like, half naked. And she was, Gerard, I remember Gerard telling me about this match or something, that women were in, like, mud or something.
Oh, yeah. They were in mud, or they would do, like, they were like Santa Claus, but in, like,
the slutty Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So like this is
different matches like that. Matches, I should say.
So this is what like women were doing back in, you know, maybe late 90s,
early 2000s. Yeah.
So they went from that to
having their own pay-per-view. What?
So women are having their own pay-per-view and it's 2019. That's incredible. And to me, it's just incredible to see women do their thing.
So far.
Yes, come so far. And then not only that, but they're showing the men, they're proving
themselves.
To the wrestling community and themselves, they're proving that they are just as great and if not maybe even better
than some of the guys on the roster. Also, I think it's good for like younger girls to see these role models, because back then,
I agree.
Why would a parent want their kid to see a girl just in their bra and panties when they actually could do well, like in the ring,
in full gear? You know what I mean?
Exactly, and put on a great show for the audience.
So how do you? Let me just ask you. I know it's just on the spot, but how do you feel about the butterfly belt? Being turned into...
That belt was trash.
Okay. I agree.
Because why would you make a belt like butterflies when men had the regular belt?
Belt, right. It felt like...
Men and women should be equal in my opinion, so I'm so happy that they have the belt now looking normal.
Like regular?
And also their tag belt, which I think was important, even though they're not really doing anything with it right now, but that's besides the point.
The point, yeah. But I think, you know, they've come so far in bringing the women from, like, a B class to an A class to just matching the men in ring work. You know what I mean? It's not only about their skits or their on-mic ability. It's just now it's...
And it's definitely not only about their looks.
Yeah.
It's about how they perform in the ring and on the mic too.
So that's just, they've come so far in general.
Yeah.
Also, like, can we just talk about the elephant in the room? Like, they main evented WrestleMania. They just main evented WrestleMania.
And it was actually an amazing match.
Right?
To just watch.
Like, the build-up for that was insane. Like,
yeah.
Let's talk about the build.
Well,
let's talk about Becky.
Lynch.
Let's talk about Becky.
Thank you, Nia.
Thank you, Nia.
Nia, this one's for you.
The build-up was insane. Like, from performing and entertainment, like, background, just like insane build-up. Like,
I can't believe that.
I'm the man, and that was insane.
I actually like when she says I'm the man, because I'm talking about Becky, if no one really knows. Because she's proven herself that she could be one of the boys. It's not like she wants to be a man. It's showing that she could do what all the other guys do.
You know, I agree on that, and I think that's something that I think for people out there and for females out there, we have to, I think between you and I, we have to really highlight that. The fact that she's not saying that she's the man as in...
She wants to be like them.
Yeah.
Or like, she thinks like she should like rise above her in-ring work to be as a guy. She's saying that she is the
just
man,
as good,
and she could just do as good as all the men on the roster. Which in that WrestleMania match, she proved herself. Even the rise up to it was amazing.
Like all her matches leading up to...
All her promos too.
Her promos leading up to that match were amazing. I felt that...
And she is still beautiful with that blood on her. Like, what?
You just look at her and you're like, she's bleeding, first of all. Many of you were like, oh my god, a woman is bleeding. Yes, a woman can bleed. And
we all have the same color blood.
Yes, we all have the same color blood, and guess what? If you didn't know this before, now you know women are tougher than men. So, just letting you know that, Becky actually had blood on her face, and she kept going with the promo.
Didn't she have a broken nose or like a concussion or something?
She kept going, and she did that.
Yeah.
And, you know, she proved that, yes, women are here to do it just like the men can. And it's not saying that, oh, I'm the man because I am above
like
all the women.
Guys. No.
It's she's the man because she is just as good as the man.
Yes.
And so that's
the main part of this.
So it's not comparing her, you know. Anyway, moving on to let's see what we got here. How do we feel about pro athletes? Because Ronda Rousey
and
Shayna
Baszler.
Yeah.
I believe I said her last name right.
Yeah. So Jordan had some questions for us to address as women.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, pro fighters or pro athletes have been added into WWE this year or the past 2 years. So how do you feel about that?
I think it's actually good because you get their fans to watch them do what, you know, what we love to watch. So we all could connect as one. And they are both such hard workers.
Yeah.
So I think, like, some of the women need to watch what they could do so they could learn, not to be like them, but to, you know, have advice, like well-known advice. And they are doing, well, Shayna is doing amazing on NXT. Yeah, like, you know, it's basically the same, like, match all the time, but she proves herself.
She has a great match.
Yes, amazing match. So I think it's good. How about you?
I think the work ethic that pro athlete women have to offer WWE is insane and above and beyond. Like, we saw Ronda Rousey going from not knowing much in-ring stuff to, like, literally what she's doing today. And it's
amazing how much she improved as a wrestler, not like boxing or what.
I don't know, MMA? Was she doing MMA?
I think that.
Yeah.
Not boxing.
So it's like it's just insane to have her go from, like, this person who has been brought up on WWE and who has been always inspired by WWE.
And she trained a lot too, because in Total Divas she had a ring in her house.
Exactly.
In her backyard.
So it's just the work ethic that she
like
puts
Nikki
into
Bella
it.
was training with Ronda.
There you go.
To have a good match with her and Nikki Bella.
So it's really, like,
she's
I think
committed.
The work ethic that these pro athletes add to WWE. I feel like WWE can sometimes have lazy wrestlers in that they get a paycheck.
And some women do need more in-ring help.
Yeah.
So I think personally it's amazing to have.
I agree.
If they are committed to the business.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they're definitely committed.
Oh, definitely.
So I think
hopefully to see Ronda back soon too.
Yeah.
To put that out there.
Yeah. I think that WWE can grab a lot of momentum with these pro athletes and having them
100%.
You know, the promo they had for Ronda Rousey, you know, the one that didn't know much about wrestling or do much about wrestling, and then training with her, and then I think Triple H, was it Triple H who trained Kurt Angle?
Kurt Angle, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, having them work together and just...
Yeah,
he retired.
If you watched that WrestleMania match when it was Stephanie and Triple H versus Kurt Angle and Ronda, to that WrestleMania match where she main evented,
that's what I was talking about.
That improvement was outstanding.
Yeah.
And she wasn't even a main event, I don't think, in the first match in WrestleMania.
No, she wasn't.
So from that to main eventing is a big deal. Way big deal.
So it's just, like, to be able to see her go from, like, you know, the one that's showing up here and there and, like, building it. Brock.
Sorry. Got a cough in there, you know?
But yeah, to see her go from, like, nothing to everything, WWE can definitely grabbed a lot of momentum there, and they can still build onto that and other pro athletes in their pool of wrestlers, because they do have a lot of pro athletes.
Definitely.
So moving on,
We should talk about AEW
Yes, we should.
and their women.
So let's talk about, because they just had their pay-per-view. When did they have their pay-per-view? Was it last week?
I think 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. So they just had their pay-per-view, and they had a certain person there, Nyla.
Nyla Rose.
Yes. And as many of you know, she is trans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it is very important for women, LGBT, and minorities to be represented in the wrestling world. And that, I believe, point blank. Like,
Yeah.
I just think there's a stereotype of, again, it goes back to the women in
Way
the
back
90s.
when, yeah.
You know, the blonde, blue-eyed,
Big boobs. Big butts.
that kind of woman, you know? And it's not about that. And at the end of the day, wrestling is about...
It's about your in-ring work and also your promos. And I personally think it's good to have these different people
Mm-hmm.
because there's not only straight people watching in the crowd.
Yes.
You have to cater to everyone. And I think Nyla Rose is amazing.
I think she did a wonderful
She
job.
did really good. Yes, she might need a little more work, but, you know, it takes time. And I want to give a kudos to the women who were wrestling her and did not care that she was trans.
Because we see that a lot in other sports.
A lot of people judge
Yeah.
if they're gay, lesbian, bi, trans, or...
A lot of people, like, judge, and then we see that not only, I mean, there's probably
you see
some...
it everywhere.
Yeah, you see it everywhere, and that's kind of sad. As a society, we have to move forward, and just
we
like
have
we're
to
giving...
grow together, not
Yes.
apart. And yes, people like who
Exactly.
they like. So, I personally think
It was great.
it's amazing to
that she's in
have
there.
all these people, you know, wrestling, so you could cater to everyone in the audience.
Yeah, I agree. And then to start to making men and women and LGBT
All
community all equal is the women's evolution, and having someone like Nyla on a roster like that, I think that's a big step for AEW to take. It was definitely risky
Amazing.
because some
It was
people,
amazing.
yeah,
Some people don't even know, like,
Yeah.
these wrestlers, and to say that, like, the commentary, I think,
oh yeah,
I think they mention it, to say that, you know, probably draws, like, them closer to this wrestler because
Yeah.
they could relate to what she's going through.
just like a little girl can relate to Becky Lynch. Someone who might be from the LGBT community, they can probably relate to her,
Yes.
and they love wrestling and stuff.
Also,
so,
in WWE, Sonya Deville, she's a lesbian. And she...
oh yeah, she is a lesbian. And she's very open about it on her social media.
Yeah, she's, first of all, I love her a lot.
Yes.
Like,
She's really good
they
in the
really
ring.
need to do more with her, in my opinion.
I agree.
You know, okay, she don't have blonde hair, blue eyes, blah, 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 but she's beautiful, she's amazing in the ring, you know.
And regardless of your sexual orientation, let me just say that, we're here to watch you wrestle.
Yeah.
So,
We're not
I
here
don't
to know your
care.
personal life.
Exactly. I don't care if you like women, like men,
If
are
you put on a
trans.
good show, that's all that matters.
Exactly. So why should the wrestling community care if someone is gay, lesbian, bi, whatever it may be? It doesn't matter. They're wrestling, they're human. They're here to do it. You know what I mean?
And I like how, like, the other women wrestlers don't discriminate on them because...
Yeah, they could discriminate, but they don't, which is nice.
Which is amazing. Everyone is like a family in the business, which I love.
So let's wrap things up because I feel like we've been going on it for a minute. So where do we see women's wrestling in 3 to 5 years?
I think it's going to be big. You know, they're already, like, main invented.
Mm-hmm.
There's hopefully going to be another, like, evolution. I hope, I don't know, maybe, you know, women wrestler could wrestle in the New Japan. You know how
Yeah.
it's only men on the New Japan?
Maybe.
Maybe they could start to transition to
Into
that,
it, yeah.
which would be amazing.
That would be nice.
I could honestly see that because
they're a little bit, they're getting more progressive with their wrestling, which is nice. But again, the Japanese culture is the Japanese culture. So.
Yeah. I think it would definitely like progress, definitely with the woman now.
Yeah, I agree.
Coming into any of the businesses.
I think in 3 to 5 years, I see men and women, hopefully, maybe, I know this is reaching, but maybe wrestling each other. And
that would be amazing.
I know some of you, like, this is going to be controversial. Like, no matter what, people are going to talk.
People are going to say, like, the man will hurt the girl, like, woman, but, you know...
If you're in the wrestling business...
They know how to take bumps.
Exactly.
They know.
So...
Yes, they're little, but you just gotta...
I mean, look at Nia Jax. She's not 5'5", 100 pounds, right? She is who she is, and she is the built that she is.
And she also, you know, with Dean Ambrose known as...
There you go.
You know,
she took a couple bumps, and was she scared?
No, and she threw him around.
And so...
Yes, but... Of course, like, she's bigger, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, and if we put her, let's say her and Braun Strowman, do you think they would have a good match? Like, let me know in the comments down below. Do you want to see Nia and Braun Strowman?
Becky and Seth. Huh?
They're dating right now. Wouldn't that be interesting? Becky versus Seth. Who is the man?
Or Becky versus Finn Balor.
Who wears the pants?
Becky versus Finn.
That would be a good one.
Because they train together.
No, Finn I would have liked to see with Sasha. Just because they're very like flippy and like very athletic together. I don't know if Sasha's coming back, but with Finn versus Sasha would be an amazing match. So just to wrap things up, guys, if you don't know, Wrestling Tees has 2 different t-shirts.
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yes. Pro Wrestling Tees has 2 different t-shirts being sold for the 3T podcast.
Read the comments down below.
Yeah, we'll link it in the description.
Make sure you follow Through the Table.
Yes.
I Strong Side. They're also on Facebook.
The individuals, of course, Gerard is King of Sad Style, and Chris is the Rice Krispie. What else?
Their podcast.
Obviously, their podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes,
Google Play.
Yes. Gerard's like mouthing it to us. But, you know. Tune in. Check it out on their Instagram, I Strong Style, and Through the Table.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video down below.
And we thank you so much for watching.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys soon
with their podcast.